Hello, everyone. It's Amy from the Creativity Matters podcast, and I want to do a short video about Notion. I specifically want to talk a little bit about how I'm using Notion to track creative projects. I have been using Notion for a few months now, and I absolutely love it. I don't know where this tool has been all my life. When I first stumbled across it recently, I was so blown away by what I was seeing and the possibility and potential of all of these relational databases. I have a history of working with these kind of databases in other formats. It's been a long time though, and I was so excited to see this. And I immediately started trying to channel all of my paper documentation and logging into a digital form. And one of the things I was most excited about was the ability to track creative projects, specifically drawings and daily drawings. They pile up. When you draw daily, when you have a really consistent creative routine, they pile up. I like to be able to track that, but even with the best of intentions, oftentimes I start tracking in a composition book or a bullet journal, and then I fall off and I stop doing it. I forget to do it. I forget a day or two, and then that turns into 5 or 10. And at the end of the year, I know I've drawn every day, but I don't have a really good log of that other than flipping through a sketchbook. When you do a challenge like a 100-day project or 30 for 30 or something like Inktober or index card a day in the summer, which is 61, it's really nice to be able to have a list that you can check off. So I'm going to focus today on that, how I'm logging drawings and how that feeds into the 100-day project just a little bit. I won't really explain all the inner workings, how it's set up, how the relational databases work. And I'm still building this, learning more. I'm still tying it into year-long goals. I'm still working on this dashboard. One of the things I immediately started doing was tracking my daily things and a whole bunch of things, and I add new ones as an ongoing practice and continue to start tracking some of those things. So every day I have a daily log, a tracking sheet, for example. A page in your bullet journal would be very similar. Or it might be a column in a big tracker that you have set up. If you're someone who does a habit tracker and you check off the things each day, that's how this started. And I have a whole bunch of things. Some things are not shown here. One of the nice things is using views. You can hide different things. You can visualize things differently. You can pull things to the surface differently in all different kinds of views that you want. So one of the things each day I do is start with a new daily sheet for the day. And I've done that. So today is Thursday. And yesterday was Wednesday, and I've already filled in the drawing portion. At the end of the day, I filled that in. I have this filtered right now just for week 9, which is how I'm tracking these, the weeks of the year. That is partly because I do the Illustrate Your Week project, which is an illustrated journal set, and I am working on that with weekly numbers, so I know what each week is. So when I'm ready to enter a drawing, I can enter it directly from my tracker because this is into a database. So I can enter it here by typing something and setting up a new drawing. So let's just do this sample drawing in a circle because my 100 days are in circles and with dip pen. So it doesn't exist. If it existed, I could just link it. It doesn't exist, so I can go ahead and say I want to create that. It's going to give me a new page, and I can leave it at that. I don't have to do anything else. That'll put it there. But I can go ahead and open it up and then fill out all the different details that right now I'm tracking. And so some of those are basic, the date and things like that. But some of them I'm tracking whether or not I flip a drawing, what the gender of the person is because I do portraits, what ink I'm using. The journal right now, it's the same for all of them, but I'm logging that. And then I track a couple of things, whether I'm sharing it in certain places, whether it's related to a quote in a different database, whether it's the 100-day project and dip pen. Illustrate Your Week, if I click here, it will pull up the Illustrate Your Week database, and I can select which of those it's fulfilling. And then I'm doing a couple of simple checkbox checks because that way I can pull things up and filter differently when I want to very easily. So this is it a circle for the 100 days? And what day was it of the 100 days? So I can fill all these things in or not, but then they are logged here. And the same thing, not the same thing, this is actually a roll up. So if whatever it is fulfills an illustrate your week prompt, it would automatically show here. So if I said this sample drawing was related to, for example, glass is half full, and I just go ahead and leave that, it associates it with this drawing. And when I go back to the tracker, now I can see that that is what I did on this day. I can also check off the things here that I did the 100-day project, if I posted it Instagram, and then I've got a whole bunch of other things that I'm tracking related to podcasting and videos. And it's really nice. In this dashboard, because I'm still building out how I use this, I can add my daily drawing directly from my dashboard. I can add it right here. I can see the drawings from this week. I think I have last week's up still, so I can see the drawings right here if I want to just look at them that way, and I can change the week of that using the filter, so I can pull up and see any weekly set. So I can change it. That was a different week, and this is week 9, so we're only a few days in. So I really like having this small list here. And then over here, I've got the illustrate your week prompts for this week. And I like to just be able to pull them up and quickly see them, and then I can check them off here. I am filtering these also by the week, so those are the prompts just for this week. I can pull these up in different ways. This is my daily tracker, which I can, of course, look at as a full thing. I can look at the month. That would be February. I can look at the current week. I've got it set up in different ways. I don't have views for every YouTube sort of look here. And then I can look at it in gallery form, which is just kind of an interesting visual way. You can set it to have whatever kinds of information you want showing up. That's coming from one of my fields. And then the 52 weeks pulls all of those days in. I can pull up the entire drawing list, and then I can filter that, of course, in all kinds of ways. Anything I wanted, color, different inks, different pens, different subject matter. The 100-day project is being pulled from the drawing database, so it's using a filter, and I can pull this up and look at the entire sequence. On some days I obviously am doing more than one, and I'm logging those separately, and that's just for my own tracking. But this is a really nice way to be able to pull it up and visualize it. And I can check off whether that day was a circle and whether that day was a dip pen. And I'm checking those things off when I log the drawing. And then this is just a view. This is a view from the drawing database that I have for 2021. So this is really nice, and these are some of the tags I'm using when I post at Instagram. So that is it. I am loving it so much, and I am continuing to change and learn more. Starting to work with the roll-ups was a really helpful thing. I initially had a bunch of separate databases for some of these and was duplicating some of my logging, and now I'm being able to pull those in a much more streamlined way. And so I anticipate that I will continue to make some changes and refinements in how I do it. And some of these things are not super necessary. Obviously, if there is something here, I might not need to check this off. But I like the routine of the checking off these boxes, even if they're also being captured in different databases. What I'm reading, I check off that I read, and then I'm checking off what I'm reading. I'm pulling it up from a database. I'm pulling up the things I listen to. Although I haven't been actually logging those as consistently because I've been listening to this on most days while I draw recently. It's a very long listen, so I could just add them in that way. It's really a wonderful tool. I'm looking forward to sharing more about how I use it, and I hope maybe you give it a try. If you have any questions about how I'm using it to track creative work specifically, leave them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I would love to talk more about it. And if you're using it to track your creativity too, definitely leave a comment. I would love to connect and talk about ways that we can maximize our creative lives with a tool like Notion. And please do subscribe if you are interested in drawing or creativity or Notion or tracking your creative habits. I have been recording the Creativity Matters podcast for many, many years, since 2006, and I am just starting to explore YouTube, and I would love to have you join me here. Thank you.